Second round of the OHL playoffs get underway Thursday, and we've already previewed the two series in the Western Conference. So let's shift our focus now to the East, starting off with the number 2 seed Barrie Colts taking the number 3 seed Kingston Frontenacs. And this is looking to be a very close series. These two teams finished near each other in the standings, even points wise, as the Frontenacs tried to chase down Brantford for top spot in the East Division, but just no luck this year, falling short, but still a Frontenacs team that I think no one really took too seriously at the start of the regular season, but they made their big moves at the OHL deadline. They sweep the Sudbury Wolves in the first round, and I think people around the OHL are now taking notice of this Frontenacs team. So let's break things down for this series. And for the Barrie Colts, the last time they made it to the second round was back in 2023. That's when they were eliminated by the North Bay Battalion in 7 games. Well, Kingston, last time they were this far in the OHL playoffs, you have to go back to 2022. So it's been a little bit since Kingston has last been this far in the OHL postseason. Now, when you look at the regular season meeting between these two teams, Barrie has the advantage, a 3-1 record, but I do believe this series is going to be a lot closer than what that record indicates, because at this point, you can just take the regular season stats with a grain of salt. But the last meeting, though, if you're wondering, was back on March 1st. It was in Barrie, and it was a 6-3 final for the Colts in that one. Breaking down the stats from the first round, the Barrie Colts in the goals for category, 27 in 5 games of work against the Niagara Ice Dogs, while Kingston, 15 goals for against the Sudbury Wolves in that 4-game sweep. In the goals against department, the Barrie Colts gave up 19 goals in those 5 games, while Kingston giving up a league low 8 goals in that first round matchup, tying the Kitchener Rangers for fewest goals given up by a team advancing to the second round of the playoffs. Now, on the specialty teams, Barrie, great power play in that first round, 41.2%. We'll see if they can continue that momentum going into the second round. I don't think it'll be, that's probably easier said than done. And for Kingston, their power play, 12.5%. So struggled a bit there in that opening round, but we'll see if they can improve going into this next series. On the penalty kill, the Barrie Colts had the 3rd best penalty kill unit in the OHL. But in this playoffs, it was struggling against the Niagara Ice Dogs, 56.3%, while Kingston operating at 75%. Looking at the top scorers for both teams, we're going to start off with the Barrie Colts, their top 5. Dallin Wakely leads the charge, 2 goals, 10 assists, 12 points. As the North Bay line, it's clicked, and they're generating a lot of points. And it really comes down to Wakely, Romani, and Owen Van Steensel, as they paid a big price to acquire those 3 players during the regular season from North Bay. And there were some questions about how things are going down the stretch, as it just seemed like it was on again, off again points wise. But here in the playoffs, oh boy, they're really showing what they're capable of for this Barrie Colts team. And speaking of Anthony Romani, 2nd in team scoring in the playoffs, 8 goals, 1 assist, 9 points. Bo Jelsma, 3rd in team scoring, 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points. He is a battler out on the ice, as he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's not afraid to go to the net, go and battle in the corners, and he's been rewarded for his points. Now, 4th in points for Barrie in that first round, Owen Van Steensel, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points, as he's that the 3rd piece of that top of that line for the Barrie Colts. And then 5th in scoring, Tristan Bertucci. Kind of surprised me a bit seeing him in the top 5. 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points. Now remember, Bertucci was the hero in Game 4 for the Barrie Colts with a goal line save at the beginning of the 3rd period against Niagara. And that goal line save set up Dallin Wakely to take the puck up the ice. And then Romani with the game-winning goal, as that kind of was the turning point in that series, was the big goal line save by Bertucci. And he has been, he comes as advertised after being acquired from Flint before the regular season got underway. Now for goaltending, the Barrie Colts, the only team that played both of their goaltenders and advanced to the second round. Sam Hillebrand, a 3-0 record, 3.33 goals against average, and an .884 save percentage, while Ben Horebic, a 1-1 record, 4.04 goals against, and an .879 save percentage. Now, these numbers, a little bit off from what we saw during the regular season. Horebic, one of the top goaltenders in the league when it came to save percentage. I almost wonder if nerves got the better of him when he appeared in Game 3. That was a loss at the Meridian Center in Niagara. So he did have a better bounce-back performance in Game number 5 when they closed out the series against Niagara. And the question still remains, who do you start in Game number 1 when the Colts host the Kingston Frontenacs on Thursday night? I'm kind of leaning towards Hillebrand will get the start, but we probably won't know until a couple hours before puck drop on Thursday. Now, shifting focus to the Kingston Frontenacs, the top scorer, Cedric Gandon, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points, as the veteran getting the job done. And he's also one of the top faceoff players in the OHL. So if it's a possession game you're looking for, Cedric Gandon is your man because he can win those faceoffs more often than not. And really, we saw him a lot when he was with the Owen Sound Attack. Great hockey sense, and really not surprised seeing him as one of the top scorers on this Kingston Frontenacs team. Now, second in scoring is Jacob Battaglia, a goal and 5 assists, good for 6 points. And then Ben Pickle, third in scoring. He has 3 goals in that opening round series against the Sudbury Wolves. Now, remember, Pickle played for the Barrie Colts. He's a former Colt, and he'll be able to play against his old team in this playoff series. And then you have Cal Ewens, fourth in team scoring, a goal and 2 assists, 3 points. And then Thomas Jornen, fifth in team scoring. A little surprised by this. Just 3 assists in those 4 games against the Sudbury Wolves, as Jornen was one of the key players offensively for Kingston during the regular season. I would anticipate that his offense will pick up here in the second round as they try and get some momentum against the Barrie Colts. Now in net, Charlie Schenkel. What a series he had against Sudbury. 4-0 is his record, 1.83 goals against, 934 save percentage. Remember, Schenkel acquired from the Sioux Greyhounds at the OHL trade deadline. He has that playoff experience from last year with the Greyhounds, and it seems to be paying off already for Kingston. So Schenkel, a solid goaltender right now for the Kingston Frontenacs. Some of the top stats when it comes to goaltending after the first round of the playoffs. So if the Frontenacs are going to weather the storm of that North Bay line of the Barrie Colts, it's going to come down to Schenkel having to make some huge saves. And we saw in the first round for the Barrie Colts that Owen Flores, he was outstanding in nets and gave the Colts offense fits. And if Schenkel can do that as well, then the Kingston Frontenacs, they have a case to be made here in this second round series. Now, the last time these two organizations met in the playoffs, you have to go back to 2018. And that's when the Kingston Frontenacs won that second round series in 6 games. And it's a similar situation because Barrie had home ice in that series, and they won both games at the Saddlin Arena. But then Kingston would go on to win 4 straight to advance to the Eastern Conference Final. So we'll see what happens this time. Is it going to be a similar situation or storyline? We'll have to wait and see. Now, I will be covering this series because I do the broadcasts on Rogers TV for the Barrie Colts, and I do plan to go on the road to Kingston for games 3 and 6. So that's where it stands right now. But, of course, the series would have to go 6 games if I'm going to make it to the Slush Puppy place there for game number 6. But I'm looking forward to that one trip, at least to Kingston in game number 3. I'll be doing post-game recaps after every game. And yeah, can't wait to get the second round underway. It begins Thursday night in Barrie, 7 o'clock puck drop. And Gene and I will have the call on Rogers TV. So let me know in the comments section below your thoughts on this series. Who do you think takes it, and in how many games? Thank you very much for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Talk to you again soon.